Well, today I want to talk about the control remote for my FM50. Talk about the control remote for my FM50 box that we put in here. I've been going over the details of the installation of this module, and I want to talk about the control box. Obviously, we've gone through all that. Let you know, you can see this is all set up inside. Basically, when you turn it on now, you can see the red light activates, it comes on. Then I've got everything wired in here. And what I've done on this is I've set the frequency up so that the maximum speed of the variable drive is 70 hertz at this point. It's a little bit over the standard drive. And what I've got done on my setup right now is I'm basically using the standard, it's a 4-cone system. I'm using 3 of them right now. And if I were to go up to the high speed, which is a 940 RPM top speed, I would drop back down to 60 hertz before I did that, because I don't want to overdrive this lathe. So it works really good. I've been running it a lot lately on the 40 and the 270, doing some work on some small bushings, doing some parts. You can see here some of these smaller parts. It turns out really good on that, for that, even those lower speeds. So that's something I'm learning how to do parting and stuff like that. So, but right now I've got that set. As a matter of fact, this system is set up right now with the back gear enabled. So we're running at low speed. So when I turn this on, it's going to be turning basically at a little bit more than 40 RPM. So you can see that how it's going to work. I got a forward and a reverse and a speed controller. So here's forward. You can see I can control the speed. If I need to, I can slow it way down, speed it up all from this panel. And you can see when I turn that off, it's actually controlled by the VFD itself. It's not actually off, so the system is actually still powered, and everything's powered. So this is the master power switch here. But its forward and reverse control is handled at this station now. This is a 4-button station, because I'm going to put my tachometer in here, but right now I've just got a block off plate on that. It's reverse, same knob, working in the, so I got 3 position switch there. So you can see I got forward and reverse controls, as well as variable speed controls. What I'll do then is also I'm going to take out the back gear just so I can show you the stop at 270 RPM. Alright. You always want to make sure that you got this fully engaged before you start turning on the power, so that we're driving off the main drive. Back gear is disengaged, covers are closed. Now I'm going to put this in forward. I'm going to show you how the emergency stop works. And when I press emergency stop, it's going to actually immediately stop. And again, it's not going to be powered off, it's just going to be emergency stop. So basically this is about 270 RPM roughly. But if you need to, everything's within reach. You just press emergency stop, it immediately stops the system. What you have to do then, even if you can see that the forward is still engaged, if you turn off the emergency stop to reset it, the machine will not restart. You have to actually put it in the off position after the emergency stop, or either before. Then you reset the emergency stop, then you re-engage the drive. That way the emergency stop doesn't actually, when you kick it off, doesn't actually start the motor back. So emergency stop, as you can see, forward's still on. Even if it's on forward and you release it, it will not come back on. Also, if it's off and it's still in emergency stop, you can't actually turn it on either. So as long as emergency stop is pressed, you can't put it in forward or reverse. So you have to release the emergency stop, and then it'll go into forward mode. Or reverse, of course. got the frequency control set so that it's maxed out at 70 hertz. So it's all the way on high. Then I can just slow down. So what you do is you go into the advanced speed that you want to go and then back off the drive. So now I can actually slow down the drive. And that's about half speed. So, and I can just keep driving that down. And inside you can't see it, but the actual hertz setting on the VFD is going down with it, is following it. So this keeps the numbers keep up inside. This is really good for working on your finish. You won't do a lot of this at half speed. You'll usually change the belt drives, but what you will do is adjust your finish within that 50 to 70 hertz range, depending on what you're doing, finish-wise. And the braking resistor is what actually stops the rotation. So the same stop motion that you do it off uses braking resistor. It's the same one that the actual emergency stop uses. So, and again, when you get through with it, you turn it off, kills the power, and then it takes about a minute or so for the VFD to bleed off its voltage, and that's pretty much it. Everything else about the machine is standard. You can actually hook this up on an existing setup, and like I said, I've got these setups. I've done a little bit of changes on these knobs to make the price point a little better, because these are the real high-end knobs. I found some better, they're good quality, but they're just a little bit better price point on these position knobs, so particularly the emergency stop. But everything's labeled. This says emergency stop, this says forward, off, reverse. I showed that earlier. I'm going to make a plate that goes here for the numbering for myself, but right now it's got a 30 millimeter to 22 millimeter adapter, and then the potentiometer that goes with the FM50 is mounted inside that. I've got another complete setup here that I'm going to have ready, and I'll be able to send it out to you, where it's just the controls here and the FM50 already configured, and then basically all the underneath here, as far as these holes, you can drill those, or you can let me know. I can go ahead and set it up just exactly like mine, but I'll put the knob and the LED and everything on there so that it functions that way. And I also will provide enough wiring to go from the remote terminal back to the control box.